Happy New Year's, everybody. I know I'm a little late with this, but I didn't really have the time or way to make a video on New Year's because my internet was out for a little while up until I think like after New Year's. It might have been New Year's and I just was distracted with other things. I just didn't make a video then. But I'm making one now. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I hope you all had a great New Year's. I can't believe it's already 2023. That's insane. I'm 21 years old, and like, it seems like to me just yesterday, it seems like to me that I was like 7. It's so weird. And even though I'm not that old, I'm only in my early 20s, like, when I, like, think about my childhood and I realize how long ago some of the things in my childhood were, it just makes me feel old. That's growing up, I guess. So, for anyone wondering about the snowstorm, little update on that. Yeah, I did get snowed in at the hotel, but I'm back home now. Been back home for about a week and a half now, I think. It'll be 2 weeks this Friday, I think. I was only supposed to be at the hotel. We were supposed to leave right before Christmas, like on Christmas Eve, but that huge snowstorm happened. Actually, we weren't even supposed to be at the hotel, but the snowstorm happened. My dad didn't want me to get stuck home with my grandmother because my grandmother's a nightmare to be around. So he decided to have me go with him to work. When he went to go work at the Holiday Inn hotel that he works for that Thursday night, so I went with him. And the snowstorm happened, and we couldn't leave after that, so we decided to stay there. Then it snowed again, like, I think 2 days later, something like that. And we ended up staying there longer, and then we just decided, fuck it, we're gonna stay here for a little while, just stay here for Christmas. It's kind of shitty though, because like we bought a Christmas tree that we were supposed to put up here at my house before we left, so we'd have a tree up, to look at or whatever, just for whatever, so we'd have a tree, even though we're not celebrating Christmas at my grandmother's house this year. But we unfortunately didn't do that because we bought the tree, but it's actually in my hallway right now, blocked off by some furniture so my dogs don't ruin it. It's in my hallway with nothing on it because we were at the hotel so long that we completely forgot we had it till we got home. We were at that hotel for 5 days, so long we stayed at the Holiday Inn. And like, the one cool thing though, Christmas was kind of crappy because I did have to be stuck down. I didn't have a tree there, but it's still fun for me. I mean, at least nobody ruined it for me. My grandmother didn't get drunk or ruin it. Like she does every year because I wasn't near her. That's the one benefit. Is I got an Xbox One X for Christmas. And some new games. I got this one, Mortal Kombat 11. I got a game called The Evil Within, which is a survival horror game. And I got Grand Theft Auto 5, because of course. And I do have like all the characters in this game, all the fighters. I'm missing 3 though for some reason. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, the only thing that was kind of shitty is like when I got the Xbox One X, I took it out of the box, hooked it up to the TV in the hotel room, and it took like, it took, I don't know, 3 hours, because first of all, I had to create a Microsoft account so I could set it up, and then second of all, it had to update, because I guess it had never been used before, even though we got it from a used place. It just never been used. I guess it was opened by the guy that freaking was selling it there to look at it, but it was never used before that, I guess. And it took like 3 hours to update after the setup. And then when the setup was finished, I started with this game because I wanted to play this, and that took a couple hours. I ended up playing it. Finally playing it, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning because I like stayed up all night just so I could play the game for a little bit. And then I was able to install the other games on it. But again, it took a while. But that might have been because, I mean, it takes a while anyways, but that might have been because the Wi-Fi at the hotel was kind of slow compared to what I have at home. And, yeah. But we were there for 5 days, and we finally came home. The funny thing is, my Xbox, when I first brought it home, back to my house, it started glitching for a little bit. I don't know why. It was acting all glitchy. I think I found the root of the problem though. It's like I had it hooked to an extension cord that I have at my house that I have solely because I needed to plug in multiple things that need to be plugged in and then connected with my TV just so I could use like the VCR and the Blu-ray player and shit. And I only have one outlet behind the TV on the wall, so I had to do that. So I was using an extension cord, and the extension cord, it either wasn't plugged in very well, or I think it had a short because it shocked the shit out of me when I tried to plug my Xbox into it. After that, my Xbox was all glitchy, but I plugged it to the wall outlet behind my TV, and it seems to be doing just fine now. I don't know what the deal was. Right before New Year's, my grandmother got paid, and I went out and I was supposed to get new games for my system, but I couldn't find anything I wanted. Nothing spoke out to me. One thing I did pick up though, which is not a game, is a Blu-ray of Poltergeist, my last movie buy of 2022. My last pickup of the year. This is the original Poltergeist from 1982, and I got this because, and before you say, dude, you already own it, I know that. I do own the regular DVD release from 2001. This is the 2010 Blu-ray release, and I thought this was cool because I'm a weird kind of person. I like to have both the Blu-ray and DVD release of some of my favorite films in my collection. So I got this. I watched it the other day on my Blu-ray player. Very cool thing. So I think too, because I never thought I'd own as many Blu-rays as I do now, because for the longest time I just wasn't a Blu-ray person. I didn't care that much. Because I guess because like, I don't know, I just never cared that much for Blu-rays. I really don't know why, I just didn't care that much for them. And I just kind of got to the point where I started liking them after a while. Now, I have a little thing coming up I want to do in a second, but before I get into this next part, I do want to talk about one thing. Leading up to Christmas, I was like horrifically sick. Like it was terrible. It wasn't COVID or anything like that. But I was pretty sick. I guess it was like some kind of cold or something. Because I kept sneezing and coughing, had a runny nose, couldn't breathe very well. Out of my nose, not my chest. And I had like horrible headaches for a while. By the time of this recording yesterday, I had like the worst back pain ever because I pulled a muscle in my lower back, and it was like the worst thing ever because I could feel it all the way up my back. I hated it. One of the worst pains I've ever felt in my life. And I fell on a rock when I was a kid, back first, that was sticking up at like an odd angle, like it was sticking up like that, I guess. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing there with my hand. But it was at like the weirdest angle because it was sticking up a little bit. And I fell on it, trying to use a rope swing when I was a kid on my back. And that hurt. But that was nothing compared to the freaking muscle pull in my lower back. Which my back is still sore, but it's not like it was. Talked to my friends Xena and Logan the other day, a couple days ago, I talked to Xena, and they seemed to have had a good Christmas. It's funny because Logan got the exact same thing as I did, get a new Xbox, new Xbox One. He got the white one though, mine's black. Now, this next part, in honor of it being a new year, I want to talk about some of my favorite items I received in my collection. My favorite finds for my movie collection of 2022. We'll start off with the Blu-rays. There's only 2 Blu-rays. The rest are DVD. So this first one, which wasn't really a find, I mean, I guess it kind of was. I didn't find it though. I had a little bit of help. So, in I don't even remember what month it was. It was before the summer, I think. Yeah. It was before the summer, and it's The Gallows on Blu-ray. My friends actually bought me this. Logan has the cool thing, because, like, this is a meaningful thing to me, because me and Xena first became friends in high school because of this movie, because we both had a fondness for this movie, and we would talk about it in class, because we had drama class. I don't remember what the class was, what art was called. Was it Intro to Theater, Performing Arts, whatever? I don't know. But we had like a drama class. And so we would do all these little like things. We were doing a play when we would practice. We'd joke around about this movie and talk about the spirit, Charlie, the film, and others. But her and her husband Logan bought this for me, and yeah, this was a cool thing to get, because like I had a DVD copy of this for a long time, and I got rid of it and regretted it. So, plus, because this was like the basis of our friendship when we were in high school, funny enough, this is a meaningful thing for me. But I think it was before the summer. It was like in early 2022, like within the first 3 months of the year, I think. Because I started hanging out with them in February, I think, again, was when I started talking to Xena again. I don't remember. But it was sometime during that first time, or a little while after that. We went to a store in my town called Mega Replay. And we bought movies, which I have other movies they bought me too, but this was my favorite out of the ones I got. Well, this and a movie I got called Clown, but this one probably my favorite besides all those. So, The Gallows. This next one was also something my friends got me, except this one they ordered this for me off the internet. They ordered it from Amazon or something. I don't remember. They ordered it off the internet, though. That's all I know. VHS 2, also on Blu-ray. And this was one of the coolest things they ever did to me. They ever did to me. ever. This is one of the coolest things they ever did for me, though. One of the coolest things they ever bought for me. One of my favorite things they bought for me. Because I love this movie, and I could not find it for the longest time. And they offered to order it for me. It's like, okay. And they did it. They actually even took the time to. I'll never forget whenever it finally showed up. They showed up on their doorstep, and they drove to my house with it, and opened the package when they delivered it. And when I did, there was a fucking wasp flying around my yard, and it kept flying around the car. I was like, oh shit, no. And I kept trying to avoid it. So that was a fun day. It was also really, really hot outside that day. Really hot outside. It was also a weird part of my year too, because my grandmother got an emergency protective order on my dad for no reason, an EPO. I don't know what states you viewers are in, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. I don't know how many states they call it that, but yeah, that's what they call it here in Kentucky. It's like a restraining order, pretty much. My grandmother got one of those on my dad for no reason at all, which ended up getting dropped a few days after the fact. But at the time that I got this, my dad wasn't at home with me for a little while because he couldn't be here, because he couldn't be near my grandmother, and it was just really weird. Plus, at that time, I got sick of all the glare in my living room because it made it hard for me to watch movies during the day. So I took one of those big contractor trash bags, the big black ones, and I used thumbtacks to hang it over the window that's directly behind where I'm sitting now, so it would black out the window, make it a little bit darker in the room during the day, so I could actually watch movies during the day. So, but nonetheless, this was still one of the coolest things they ever bought me and ordered for me. Very much love it. Honorable mention to the Very Scary Almanac book. That was awesome. I still cherish that thing, even months after they ordered it for me. Still cherish it, still love it. Actually read through it a while back. It's still a really cool book, even though it is made for children. I love it. Now, these next few things are things that I personally actually got. So, we'll start off with this one. And I've talked about all of these in other videos. So if you ever want to check out more about these, I have other videos on my channel. The first one is probably one of my favorite movies I've personally bought this year, found this year. My dad bought me this one, actually. And there's a funny story behind it. This is my Reanimator DVD that I love. It comes in this awesome green case. For the longest time, I could not find this. I wanted to find a copy. I was going to order the Arrow Video Blu-ray of this. I never got around to it. I went to Consumers Mall, which is a place not far from where I live. It's like a flea market. And there was this booth with all this old camera equipment, and they had this glass case filled with DVDs, mostly out of print stuff. And I happened to look up and see this sticking out between some of the DVDs. And it was $12, I think. I took the sticker off it, but yeah, I think it was $12. Which, well worth it, because this I'm not gonna say it's a hard movie to find, because it really isn't. Out in the wild, yes, it is. I'm very happy to have it, though. Very happy to finally have a copy of this. It's a cool edition, too. Again, that green case is awesome. It is, however, one thing to note, it is thicker than, a normal DVD case, which I don't have one to compare it to right now, but you can probably tell. You can look back at my other videos, you can probably tell it's definitely thicker than most DVD cases. But it's a cool addition. It's a great movie, one of my favorite 80s horror films. Very happy to have this one. This next one, this next one is a movie I own multiple copies of, and I also did a video on this before. The Ultimate Edition, the Anchor Bay Ultimate Edition of The Evil Dead. This one was a cool find for me because I always wanted this version of the Ultimate Edition, and what luck, it was complete. Still got the poster in there, but I always wanted this version of it that has the fold out stuff and the different artwork. Because another store that I haven't been to in ages, but I used to shop there all the time, a store called Money Tree, where I lived, had this, and I was gonna get it from them, but they didn't have it after a while. Fast forward about 2 years to last year, 2022, and it was around October time, I think, last year, October or November, I don't remember. It was one of the last times I bought movies from Star Trek's out last year. So Steve Grimes of Star Trek's video, he posts pictures of all of some movies that he gets in on his Facebook page. One of his posts had this in it, and I wanted it. So a few days after that post, I went there with my grandmother because she always takes me there. I asked him if he still had this, and he said he did. And he pulled it out, and yeah, I got it. Very happy with this because it's probably my favorite copy of the original Evil Dead that I own. Because this one's pretty cool. Because it looks like a book on your shelf. And it's cool. Well, this last one is the most expensive thing I ever bought. The most expensive thing I got for my collection in 2022. My Twilight Zone set. Twilight Zone, the complete series. The original complete series. It's not any of the revivals, although I wish I had the 80s complete series, but I'd have to order that. But this is the original 60s Twilight Zone. This is a pretty big set, you can tell by the box. I did a whole other, 2 videos on this, but I'm very happy with this. I have watched a good bit of this since those other videos I made and since I bought this. And I was very happy to finally obtain a copy of this set because for the longest time I could not, because my Walmart sold out of these and did not restock them for the longest time, for 3 years, I think. I kept going back to Walmart hoping, with high hopes, that they would restock it, but they never did. So you can see where that little crack is. Yeah. So you can see where that little crack is right there. That, which actually leads me to the next thing about this set that I was very surprised. This thing is surprisingly durable, this big case. When I first bought this, I thought this was going to be flimsy as fuck, but it wasn't. You're wondering, how did you discover that it was actually quite durable? Well, to make a long story short, one night I was watching a couple episodes from different seasons of this set, and I think I was eating or something. I was either eating or I was scrolling through my Facebook on my phone, so I wasn't really paying attention much when I had it playing, and I nudged my arm to the side. Actually, I had to the side, and I had the set sitting off to the side of me, and I nudged I nudged my arm to the side and knocked the box clean off the side of my couch, and it hit the floor. When it did, the case actually opened up when it hit the floor. It was like that, flat on the floor. None of the discs came out. Nothing popped loose. Nothing broke. And the box still closes. And even though you didn't hear this one, but it still closes like it should. It didn't break any of the snaps or anything like that. Any of the little things in there, the little plastic clips, I guess you can call it, that pop into place to keep it shut. Didn't break any of them, luckily. My biggest fear is that I would drop this and break it out and break the case. Sorry, a little bit of back pain still. That's what I was owling about. Anyways, my biggest fear is that I would drop this and obliterate the case. But no, this thing is quite durable. Plastic is pretty thick, and the discs are nice and locked into their trays. So, and I've dropped other sets I've owned before. I dropped my complete Tales from the Dark Side once when I used to live in my basement. I dropped it on the floor, but none of the discs broke or anything like that. They didn't break free of their tray on the inside. The only thing that happened was a piece of plastic chipped off, right here in the inner part. That's it. Now this didn't chip any plastic off, it just caused that little crack right there. That's about it. So that's that. The things I want to talk about. Some of my best moments of 2022. One of my favorite things the whole year that happened to me was when me and my friends decided to go out and run around the downtown area of where I live in our Halloween costumes. We did this way before Halloween. Well, not way before, but a month before Halloween, I think. Or at least, we did this the month before October, and then we did it a little bit in October. And then we stopped for a while because they became incredibly busy, so we couldn't really hang out. But it was still one of the most fun things we've ever done. I also got to go to a local Halloween shop and mask maker, Ghostly Productions. I got to go to that store and sit in the back room of the store and watch movies. It's a movie marathon that they did back in October for Halloween. I actually got to watch Halloween Ends there while it was still in the theaters because he had a Peacock account. And yeah, the guy that ran the store had a Peacock account, so he played it because everybody was like, play it, let's watch it. So he did. I saw a bunch of movies in the theaters in 2022, so that was a cool thing. I saw the new Scream, the fifth one. What else did I see? I saw a lot of movies in the theater that year. I saw a good bit. I saw Scream. I want to say, I know I saw other movies. Oh, yeah, I saw Nope in the theater. That was a cool experience. I saw Jackass Forever in the theater. That was an interesting experience. When I saw Jackass Forever, that was in February, I think. We had this really bad tornado causing thunderstorm. Actually, it did cause tornadoes. In fact, certain areas not far from where I live got messed up from the tornado that caused from the storms. but we kept getting slammed with these storms, and I'll never forget that you could hear the wind whistling through the theater room that we were in at the Malco Cinema, which is the theater, the local theater here where I live. You can hear the walls whistle when we saw Jackass Forever because of the wind outside. Like, you could actually hear it. It was pretty creepy. Like, we got in there, it started doing it, got louder and louder. My dad's like, "The fuck is that?" And he turns to me, he's like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "Yeah, I can hear it." What other movies did I see this year? I think that might be it. Oh no, I saw Multiverse of Madness, the new Doctor Strange. I think that's about it. I don't know that I saw anything else in the theater this year. Oh no, yeah, the new Firestarter that came out. I saw that in the theater, and I actually enjoyed that. A lot of people did not. I liked the movie, and I think that about covers it. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that about does it for all the movies I saw in the theater this year. Last year, sorry. 2021, I also saw a bunch of movies in the theater, but yeah. The funny thing about that is in 2021, I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife in theater in November of 2021 when that came out. I think it was 2021. Yeah. And the funny thing about that is I was like horrifically sick at that time because I had COVID. It was like pure hell. I mean, it wasn't terrible for me. I mean, I felt weak and like I couldn't really stand up or sit up very long for the longest time. Actually, my entire early 2022, like in January, I just kept getting COVID. I got it like from late 2021 to early 2022. I think I had COVID like, I don't know, 5 times that I know of. Because I got it once in the late summer of 2021, got over it after a little while, got it again around Halloween time of that year, got over it right before Halloween, got it again after that, around Thanksgiving, got over it, got it again around Christmas, got over it. Got it again in January of 2022, got over it, got it again in was it February or was it just late January? I got it a second time. I don't know, but I had it for a while. No, I think it was February. It was like right before I started hanging out with my friends. I had just gotten over it for like the 5th or 6th time. Like I was sick for quite a while in January of 2022, and that was terrible. I mean, it was fine. I didn't have to go to the hospital or anything like that. I could breathe and shit like that, but like, I tell you, I did not experience. It wasn't shit. To me, I didn't experience the actual hell my dad experienced when he got sick with it. Because he doesn't have an immune system, so it was like 1,000 times worse for him. Me, it wasn't that bad. I just got weak and felt like I don't know, I just got weak and I couldn't taste anything or smell anything, which made it difficult to eat things, by the way. Like, for the longest time, I drink Mountain Dew, that's my favorite soda, and this soda was disgusting for me for the longest time. Like, I couldn't drink it because it tasted like seltzer water to me for the longest time because I could not taste it. Luckily for me, though, I have not been sick with COVID. I've not had it in months and months now, so it's been a while. I have had a few colds. Had one right at Christmas, which I finally got over. Not sick anymore, thank God. But, yeah. Besides being sick for a good part of early 2022, 2022 was actually a decent year for me. And I'm glad you guys have stuck around the entire year. The past year of 2022. I'm glad you guys have stuck with me. I hope that you guys keep sticking with me through 2023. Happy late New Year. Thank you to my subscribers. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking with me for the past year. Hope you all have a great year, a great 2023. I hope I have a great 2023. Please continue to stick with me. And let's push that number of subscribers up. Love you guys. Have a fantastic year. This has been Miley McKay. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.